Maybe.
Welcome back to the On Deck Circle podcast, brought to you by the Fantasy Six Pack. I am your excited host, Nick Zaniboni. I'm here with my main man, Jason. Jason, how are you on this eve of opening day? On this beautiful, I'm sure you have the same type of weather that I have. Cold. It's still a little crappy out, but we are here. We made it to the eve of opening day. Are you ready, Jason?
I am. It's almost like almost as good as Christmas Eve, except it would be a little bit less because you don't get to open a gift on Christmas or on baseball Eve. But we are a mere maybe 12 hours, 18 hours away from opening day here. So super excited.
Yeah, I'm excited this season. I'm ready for just baseball to start. I know I'm not really going to be having a great year of professional baseball with my Sox, but I'm looking and I'm ready for prosperity in the fantasy baseball space. So I am ready for that. Jason, are you ready though for the cold open question of the week?
Hit me.
I know it's usually not baseball related, but since it is the day before, I just want to hear it now. What is your favorite thing about being at a baseball game? Ready, set, go. All right, Jason. I'm sorry it's a little lame this week, but I figured let's just kick it old school. Let's figure it out. So, Jason, what do we got?
I don't think it's lame because I actually thought about like 5 or 6 things that I could list off.
Give me three. Three is fine.
Okay. First off, you are like I am, and we have outdoor stadiums, so the weather right off the bat, nothing better than like late June for me as a Cub fan, sitting in the bleachers, watching the game. Number one, the weather. Two, the concessions, mainly beer. Everyone loves beer. A couple glizzies.
A
We're
beer
rocking
snake.
a beer snake going. Yeah, exactly. And then the sheer excitement when everyone's just kind of hanging out, everyone's just vibing, crack of the bat for a home run, that pure enjoyment of just like seeing like a great play happen in person.
All right. Yeah, those were some. This is going to be a wholesome. I think it's going to be a romantic
Yeah, that was
episode
pretty that was
of
pretty poetic and romanticized the game of baseball right there.
Yeah. After I say mine, I need to bring something up that I won today. So I'm gonna go, just the smells going into Fenway.
Okay.
You can smell the peanuts mixed with the hot dog. There's just a certain smell. I have a special. So I met my wife at a bar like right outside of Fenway Park. So
Nice.
like just like going like like being around Fenway is super. It's very much like a Wrigleyville. Like
Yep.
there's like an atmosphere around there. So just the atmosphere of around Fenway's great. And it is. We are super lucky, the two of us, being in such like huge. Like I went to the Detroit Stadium,
Oh,
and
so
it's
did
just
I.
like thrown together. It's just like with the other stadiums.
Yep.
These like we have such like this is just the stadium and this is what you're here for. So that's awesome. There's just so much, man. Just like being at a game is great. I love it. So as you know, the Red Sox gonna be bad. So they're doing a lot of ticket promotions this season.
Okay.
I entered a lottery and I won today. I have not made this purchase yet. I have until 10 p.m.
What is the promotion?
Every single game from April 10th to May 16th. This includes Cubs games, which are a hot ticket around here just because $98 for total.
For like as many tickets as you want?
Nope. So it's $98 for one ticket to every single game
I got you. I got you. For the whole month,
for the whole month.
basically.
So it's like 18 games or something like that.
Oh, you have to pull a trigger. Even if you just can you resell them?
Yeah. You can resell. And one's the Marathon Monday game. Like that's like a big deal around here. It's so, but the catch is it's standing room only.
That's okay.
Especially because they're going to be bad. But
yeah,
the only reason I did this drawing is because they're going to do another one from May to June. And that's the one I would prefer just because weather-wise, I could swing that weather-wise. But like April to May is kind of tough. So like selling would be tough. But it was like if
you got to do it.
That team is, I'm in.
I was about to say, me and you we're spoiled, right? We live in these big markets. I'm jealous of like maybe not anymore because they just made the World Series, but like I think didn't Arizona offer like $25 or something a month?
And like all you can eat.
Yeah, and it was like you go to any home game for the whole month for like 25. It was like a subscription basically, but like we don't get those kind of opportunities here. I know you don't. I know I don't for sure. I'm lucky to get $25 a ticket.
Yeah.
A lot of my time is
a bunch of money there.
Yeah, and a lot of my time is spent actually going up to Milwaukee because it's a little bit further of a drive, but tickets are half price.
Yeah.
Parking is readily available. So majority of my Cubs games are usually at Milwaukee, at Brewers. Yeah.
Is it still Minute Maid? Is that still a thing?
No, that's Houston. It used to be Miller, but it's not. It's not. It's not Miller Park anymore. It's like American American Family Insurance or something.
Yep.
Which I just found out last year that I don't know don't quote me on this, but they are one of the oldest stadiums. I mean, outside from like the federal landmarks like Fenway and Chicago. And they're in a lot of debate with the city on trying to get that thing updated. But I don't know.
Slide?
They do still have a slide for the I don't even know his name, the brewer. I forget his name, Benny the Brewer or something like that. But I'll be there next Friday.
Nice.
I get to see Seattle. So yeah, it's fun.
Nice. That's great.
Because up there too is also basically a dome when it wants to be. So the weather's not a factor.
Yeah, that's also good with getting tickets whenever. Like you don't have to like think of like there are times where I'm sure you do the same. You're like, well, April's really crappy. Like I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I don't usually go to Wrigley Field till at least June.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, precisely. All
right. Well, before we get into this week's episode, let's take care of some business here. Right now, do you want to get access to the most accurate fantasy baseball rankings according to Fantasy Pros? We got draft cheats. I know we're a little bit past draft season here, but sometimes people like to, wait that. Like, sometimes there could be. I know there's some people that I know that have drafts this weekend, so don't miss out on those draft cheat sheets. Those are super valuable this draft season. We got DFS betting projections on the site. You can also get custom league advice on our Discord, which actually has been one of my favorite things that we offer here. Is our Discord's great. We have channels for like up-to-date news informations, any call-ups that happen throughout the season, any injury news, things like that. You can get that pretty much firsthand right there in our Discord. Got any questions about trades, waiver wire ads, and things like that, you can get that on our Discord. You can do all of that and more by becoming an all-access member today. You can go to fantasy6pack.net/plans. We currently have a promo code right now. You can use F6PMLB24. You can save 50% off that membership today. Before we get into our predictions, which we need to make a note of this year. I think last year we did not, but this year we have to make sure we make a note of our predictions. Let's get to some news and notes of the week. We're finally starting to see, I think last week we talked about, I don't know if it was last week or 2 weeks ago, Blake Snell finally signed. This week we had Jordan Montgomery, pretty much one of the last big free agent signings available. He signs with the Diamondbacks. The rich get richer in this situation. They kind of waited things out. Got a great deal, albeit a 1-year deal. Got a great deal on Jordan Montgomery. He's gonna slide into that rotation now. It's gonna take a little bit of time. I would expect him, maybe miss a week or two here at the beginning of the season just to get ramped up. But yeah, he's gonna join, and that's it's been some talk too. Eduardo Rodriguez is going to miss some time. That obviously might be a little bit more severe than we may have thought because now they're signing a Jordan Montgomery to that rotation. So that's something to kind of monitor there with Eduardo Rodriguez. But when I looked up this morning, Jordan Montgomery's ADP was 166, which actually I was still kind of shocked to see it. Again, outside the top 150, but I thought he may have been falling a little bit more in the drafts as the offseason had gone on. His ADP did not fall as much as I thought it was. So his ADP was still at 166. And when I looked it up before, I was trying to see that, I know we like to play a little would you rather, because there were some guys that were being drafted around him or before him. And I was kind of shocked at some of the names that were out there around that ADP. So give me 1 second here. I'm going to pull up this
I got you.
ADP of 166, and actually is down 7 spots, obviously due to this is not just the signing came yesterday, I think.
Yep.
Leaving late last night, so not a lot of drafts since then. But some pitchers going before him or in his range right now. We'll go with people before him: Jose Barrios.
Yep.
Mitch Keller.
Yep.
Kodai Senga, who I think I'd rather have Senga, but is also hurt right now.
Yeah, that's different. But if he's healthy, he's probably not that low. So that's kind
right.
of omit him.
Yep. Verlander, who's also hurt right now, taking some time to get ready to go in here. Shane Bieber at 153. So basically a whole round higher is Shane Bieber.
Yeah, give me Biebs. Just Biebs. Like Montgomery is the guy that I've been just the type of pitcher I've vouched for ever since we started the show is just the guy that's going to get you innings. He's not Blake Snell. He's not it's not that big of a signing. Yes, I wanted him on the Red Sox. Yes, he lives in Boston currently. He fucking lives here, Jason. And they did not get this done. His wife is going to med school here and is doing everything here. And the Red Sox just couldn't be bothered. So I'm more angry at this than anything. But fantasy-wise, Montgomery's not going to be a league winner for you, but he's not going to make you lose either. He's just there to get you innings, to get you some ratios if you need him on a given week or a given day, depending on what type of league you're in. But yeah, he's fine. He's my big question for you, Jason, is between Montgomery and Snell. Maybe this is more of a Montgomery question. They're not going to get a long-term deal next year. So what's up with these 1 year? I get you get what you get, but sign a 3-year. Just be comfortable as opposed to thinking I need to do this all over again next year. And then unless they fire Boris, which is entirely possible because he fumbled this offseason in a ridiculous way. I think I saw a tweet that was he wanted this for one player. And that's what all of these players got combined. So it's just the MLB needs to change their free agency in general. That it's something that needs to happen because this is I feel like ever since COVID, since that year, the Trevor Story year, I think that was COVID year. I'm not positive. But you just have these huge names that sign. So you can't have Blake Snell miss the first month. I'm not saying he's missing the first month.
Right.
You can't have these guys miss time just because they're not ready because they weren't signed. So there needs to be some sort of change. But I'm excited for the D-backs. They're a cute team. They're not going to win the World Series. Not going to win their division. They probably won't even make the playoffs if we're being completely honest. It's very possible.
Yep.
So, it's fine.
Yeah, so real quick, another ADP. Would you rather a pitcher being taken at this one is actually probably take your bias out of it, but Nick Pivetta is going almost a whole round later. Would you rather have Jordan Montgomery on the D-backs or Nick Pivetta?
For upside, I'd go with Nick Pivetta.
The K rate higher too, more strikeouts.
Yeah, you can probably get a bat where you're picking Montgomery and then just getting Pivetta the next round.
Yep. No, I agree. Again, I think you're right. The 1 year contracts, this could backfire on them. Someone that I thought was going to backfire on them was Woodruff. He was hurt, but the Brewers were like, you know what, we'll bring him back even though he's going to miss this whole year. So, but what's the opportunity? what's the opportunity for these guys? Let's say Jordan Montgomery or Blake Snell, where them, God forbid they have, Tommy John or something like that. Then all of a sudden they might be on the outside looking in. I thought it was strange that obviously at this point you have to take whatever you can get. So you take the 1 year deal. Obviously 2 days before the season starts, you can pretty much take whatever you can get at this point. But yeah, I thought the 1 year deals might come back to haunt them as well. We had another big name free agent signing. I think we might be tapped out on all the big name signings at this point now with these two guys falling here. We had a JD Martinez. He goes to the Mets on another 1 year deal. This one was a steal in multiple aspects. One, for the Mets, we got him for 1 year, $12 million. And then before we even get to the fantasy side, I mean, he's coming off of a great season. Obviously, he's on the Dodgers in a fully loaded lineup, but it was one of his best years since 2019. 30-plus home runs. He had he's always had a WRC above, I think almost like over 120. Sometimes, right around average of almost a 150 at his career. Showed no signs of slowing down last year. Obviously, a little bit of a downfall in the lineups here when you go from a stacked LA lineup to a middling the Mets lineup, but he does get the bat behind guys like Lindor, Alonso, people like that. So I think this is also going to be another good fit for him. Now, looking at it from a fantasy's perspective, his ADP was down to 248. I mean, that is like basically free in 12-team leagues. It's crazy. Whoever took the gamble on JD Martinez at 248
somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. And props to whoever took JD Martinez on your fantasy team and took the gamble, because he's, like I said, he has never shown any signs. If you look back at Rebecca's last 5 years, aside from the COVID year, which obviously you got to take out, it's only 60 games. He's been a consistent. Still good. Yeah, oh yeah, still good in 2020 in the COVID year. Just minor amount of games. The dude put up numbers every year. He hits for high average. Come down a little bit in the years past. He did have a little bit of an did see his K rate and his swing strike rate increase a little bit in 2023, but still hit for 270 average, 30-plus home runs. I think you can pencil him in again for that again this year. Obviously, he's going to, not like a pitcher, he won't miss as much time as Jordan Montgomery, but I think he'll still miss at least the first week. Maybe it's 2 weeks. But hitters, come along a lot quicker. So, hey, he could even be back, depending on how your league is formatted, for week 2, a.k.a. Monday. Yeah. I don't know. I know there was some news out for him when they expect him to come back, but yeah. And I'm looking now. There was even a max pick. So, like, the latest he went in a draft was 419th.
Wow. That's wild. Especially because, like, he is such a he's just a professional hitter. Yep. I don't know if you saw his quotes about, he was very open with why he chose the Mets and why he didn't. I guess it was between the Mets and the Giants.
Oh, okay.
And he said that his doubles at, I want to say Shea Stadium, Citi Field, would be outs in San Francisco. Just like the way the gaps work for the way he hits. So like, and he said, if I go there, my average goes down. And then people next off season are going to say, oh, he's done. And then I'm out of the league. So it's cool to see, because him being here was such, like, he completely made Rafael Devers like the hitter that he is today, just because of how Martinez approaches everything. And his approach to hitting is something that's so great. And like him with Alvarez over in New York is going to be huge. Yep. Just like teaching these young guys how to hit. And it's just so crazy. Like, look at that spray chart. Like, how old is he? 36? Like, No one's talking about how good JD Martinez, like, he's a Hall of Famer, right?
It'll be tough. I mean, I don't know his what do we got here? We got 315 home runs. I mean, if he played another couple of seasons
for the fucking D-backs he had.
Yeah. If he could get to like 400 plus, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
I know 500 is the magic number, but
he was so great here. I wish they kept him around just to just for vibes.
Right.
It's fine.
Yeah. That's a good point. I didn't think about that. Obviously hitters want to pitch in San Francisco, hitters don't want to hit in San Francisco. So,
Yes.
I mean, it makes sense why he wanted to go to a City Field in New York. And he's already been in the big market. He's been with New York or Boston. I mean, so
yeah,
he's
so
not
afraid.
afraid.
And he was never like a problem here, like personality wise. Like he fit in fine. So that was cool to see.
Yeah. Another big signing. We've fallen off the. Like I said, I think we got all the big names. I don't know. I don't have a list in front of me, but I believe that's all the big names that are still out there are now finally signed. So then those were the big signings of the week, but we did have a couple more news. A lot of guys are getting reassigned or making opening day rosters. So real quickly, no surprise, Wyatt Langford makes Texans opening day roster. A little bit more of a surprise was Jackson Holliday being sent back down. Again, Holliday being only, I think, 21 years old. Not a huge shock, although the problem with Baltimore too is it's just a rags to riches story. Like they just have too much of a log jam there in the infield. You got your reigning AL Rookie of the Year and Gunnar Henderson. I think they said he's going to play mostly shortstop. I think for the Baltimore start off the season.
He's going to play second whenever he is up.
Yeah, and I don't know why they keep running out.
Ramon Urias?
Yeah. I think I to be honest with you, I think Baltimore is kind of seeing these young, controllable pieces kind of being logged in. They're like, we have to kind of.
They have so many. Like at least Kowser made it. Like Kowser had an amazing spring, but like, I guess you can't be too gluttonous.
Right.
As a baseball fan, you can't have everything. But like to trot out Ramon Urias or like Westberg, who's fine. He's going to be an MLB player, but like you have Jackson Holliday there. And I'm going to say something, but I don't know if it's actually true. I saw that Matt Holliday came out and said something about this, and I'm not sure what was said. But I saw the headline. I was like, oh, okay. I guess this makes sense. I'd be pissed if I was Matt Holliday too, because I know my son is better than whoever they're going to trot out at second base. But again, what's the date for this? Do we know? Like,
I don't know the exact date. I have to look at it, but it definitely seems like it's a
manipulation.
Playing time manipulation. Give them because, like I said, they have so many.
Because that is my birthday when I'm going to go see them.
Yeah. It's usually like 30 games, I think, something like that that they have to miss. So that puts us like the end of April, beginning of May. I think we see Jackson Holliday because, like I said, they have so many of those young guys that at some point they're going to start signing to extensions. So why not try to get an extra year of eligibility or controllability?
Yeah, but it just bums me out.
I know it's one of those things that even with the new rules in place, I think we're still going to see some teams, especially like a smaller market team.
Yeah.
And then also, the team was just sold. So a lot of things up in the air with that too, as far as, financials and things like that. So unfortunately we are going to still see, controllability, manipulation and things like that. But so that's going to do it for the news and notes this week. I think it's time to get into some of our predictions for this year. Yeah. I know I said we got to keep track of them. I'm going to try. Okay, go ahead.
I just opened up a Google Sheet.
All right.
Typing in all the awards. I'm typing in my picks now just so that I can fire them off. But I'm
all right, well, before we get into the individual awards, let's go ahead with our World Series predictions. I think a lot of people kind of dismissed last year's World Series, but I loved it. I loved seeing two teams that were not even thought to be World Series contenders at the beginning of the year. Someone like Arizona, who was, I don't even know if they were projected to be a wild card team last year, to come through the way they did was awesome. I loved the swagger of the Texans last year with Adolis Garcia and Seager and all that. That was super awesome. So I hope that trend kind of continues. Nothing wrong with seeing some of these other teams, but how many times do we need to see Houston in the World Series? How many times do we need to see the Dodgers in the World Series? It's time to pass the torch on to some other teams, although the Dodgers are a huge favorite. But anyways, why don't you start with your World Series prediction?
All right. So a lot of these picks I don't love saying. So let's just say.
Well, I want to preface too, a lot of my stuff is, again, not super chalk. I think it's easy to sit here and say, oh, it's going to be the Dodgers versus the Yankees. Like,
yes, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like those are like the betting odds on favorites. That's not fun.
Yeah.
I could sit here and say that, but I thought about you, but I want a little bit, not super dark
I think
horse,
I
but
have one
maybe.
chalk answer, maybe
Okay.
maybe two, but like, which is fine.
Yeah.
So my World Series, I have the Orioles
Nice.
beating the Dodgers.
Like that.
I love the Orioles this season. I'm gonna be an Orioles fan for this year.
Yep.
I'll still watch the Red Sox whenever I can, but I will also be keeping close tabs on the Orioles.
Yeah, they remind me. This is an easy comparison for me, at least for sure. But it reminds me of the 2015 Cubs. They were right there on the cusp.
Yep.
All those young players coming up through the pipeline, a little bit of veterans mixed in there. I really like the Orioles this year. I think they're going to make that next step and at least make a deep playoff run, if not make it to the World Series or even win the World Series.
Can you imagine how much the country would be behind the Orioles just to beat the Dodgers?
Right.
It would literally be like everyone's an Orioles fan just because they fuck the Dodgers.
Yeah. And one thing too about baseball is always so fun with that's kind of how Arizona was last year. It's always the team that gets hot at the end of the year too. So like any team, as long as you can get in, we saw the Dodgers completely collapse last year too. So it's always fun to see the MLB playoffs play out the way they do. I like those picks. I'm going to go a little bit under the radar, and I'm going to go kind of along that formula of some teams that get hot at the end of the year. And I'm going to go, it's going to be the Phillies over the Mariners in 7.
Okay. In 7. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. I kind of like the Mariners this year. I think they're going to take a little bit more of another step. They just missed out last year. They got a really good foundation of young players. The pitching staff looks strong. A lot of strong pitchers coming up, the young guys. A little bit of injury here to start the season, but that's nothing that's going to stop them. I think they're one of the teams that could get hot at the end of the year here and make that run.
I like it.
Again, nothing super chalky. You want to kind of stay away from the chalk. So Phillies versus Mariners. All right. So now let's get into some of our individual award predictions here. We'll start off with something less sexy, and we'll go with our rookie of the year picks. Obviously, one for the AL, one for the NL. Same with Cy Youngs and MVPs. We'll start with AL. We'll go through AL to NL for all of them.
All right, so this is probably my least likely to happen.
Okay.
And it's a homer pick. We're going to go with Rafaela.
All right.
For the Red Sox. And I heard this on a podcast that I listened to with former guest of ours, Mr. Bob Osgood and Jake Devereaux.
Shout out Bob and Jake.
And Keaton DeRocher. Shout out Keaton as well.
Yep.
But they brought up the fact that Rafaela's defense, like he could very well win a Gold Glove this year. And that would if he can just get like 15 homers, 20, 30 stolen bases, maybe even more, like who knows? I haven't seen him like really play in the MLB yet. With Gold Glove defense, it's definitely there. So it could happen. It's a big market. They'll still be on ESPN. Like they'll still have those big games on Sunday Night Baseball. If you can just have a few moments, obviously love Wyatt Langford, but I'm just trying to think a little bit outside the box. Needed to put, I wish I had my luchador mask on me. But yeah, so we're going with Rafaela. I'm hopeful he's going to be, him and Cassis are really like, just like, okay, I'm just going to root for them and Devers, of course, and Bayo. But I'm excited for Rafaela this year.
Love it. I actually, I'm rooting for that because I have a couple shares of Rafaela, so I'm all in on that for sure. I'm going to go chalk this one. I'm going to go Langford. I think he's just too good.
He's too good.
Starts the season on the opening day roster, gives him pretty much an extra month on everybody else to put up numbers. However, that didn't stop Gunnar last year. But anyways, I think Langford is just too good. We were talking about this over the weekend. I had my hometown draft. One of the topics was brought up is, correct me if I'm wrong, but have we ever seen a prospect rise this quickly to, I'd almost call it stardom in a sense,
No, this is special. Like
from like
the hype is crazy.
I think dating back to what the College World Series last year when it was like him and Cruz headlining that World Series, and then getting drafted, not even first 2 overall, was he like 4th overall, I think, or something like that, to then just catapulting himself through the minor leagues last year to now just in destroying spring training to now making the opening day roster.
He almost made the team last year.
Yeah, he almost for the World Series run. Yeah,
reports being like he might make the World Series roster.
Yeah, it was like, I just it's too chalky. He's too good. Like I don't know if, like I said, I don't know if we've ever seen even guys like Mike Trout were never this accelerated as far as his rise to the major league levels. Hopefully, and I think he will transition into the major league level. So I think it's just too easy and too chalky. No one. Yeah. However, I will say the AL Rookie of the Year race, unlike the NL, well, actually that's not true. But I think the AL has got a pretty thick bunch of guys that can be like, it's going to be a great race. Is what I'm basically trying to say. It's going to be a lot of guys there. You know what I mean? We're going to see Jackson Holiday, I'm sure, at some point.
Yep.
There's a few pitchers. I think Wyatt Langford's teammate Evan Carter still qualifies for Rookie of the Year. Yeah. He could even beat out Langford after the little bit of playoff run that he had last year. So the AL Rookie of the Year, I think, could be a great race to watch for this year.
For sure.
All right, we'll go over to the NL. I'll switch up. I'll mix up my NL. I'll go first. This one was a little bit harder to pick.
Yeah.
Thought about going chalk with Jackson Chourio.
Yep.
But I'm going to stay in the NL Central, and I'm going to go with a little less known name of Mason Wynn. Now, obviously, prospect heads like ourselves, we know who Mason Wynn is, but this one was more along the lines of kind of how you thought about it with Rafaela. The defense is too good. He's already on the opening day roster. He's a hell of a shortstop for the Cardinals. I think he's going to do enough with the bat to at least compile stats to put him in that into the running of NL Rookie of the Year. And I think that eventually just the glove kind of puts him over the edge and it gives them that award.
I like that. Mine is completely. Actually. Keep talking for like 10 seconds. I just want to see what.
Yeah, so like I said, the NL was also a little bit less, I think less chalky, I guess we should say. There's a huge blob of guys that are in that like second tier that like might might debut. And maybe even like Chourio's teammate Jacob Mizorowski might make an appearance, I'm sure, at some point this year too. He could be like a strong suitor. There's a few other guys that could make a run, but I think there's a lot more. It's more top heavy in the NL with Jackson Chourio.
For sure. So Mason Wynn is plus 1,500 to win.
Ooh, I like that. I should have put that as my.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil the. Yeah.
All right. Mine is plus 1,800.
Okay.
I believe also in the NL Central.
Nice.
Jared Jones of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
I thought about that too.
I'm going to be completely honest, Jason. Had no idea who the fuck Jared Jones was maybe 2 weeks ago. Maybe 3. I'll give myself
that tracks for a Nick pick.
Yeah. And then I see a couple tweets. I'm like, who the hell is this guy? And then I'm like, oh my God, he's great. Unfortunately, he is a pitching prospect, which is fine.
Yep.
But he made the team, which is great, especially for the Pirates to let you make the team.
Yep.
Because they're not competing for anything. So yeah, I'm throwing a dart here on Jared Jones, and I'm hoping that $13 can win me $247.
There you go.
So there we go.
Look at that live on air bet.
Yeah.
Shout out our new segment. Yep. All right, so let's go over from Rookie of the Year now to everyone's favorite pitching. We'll go with the Cy Youngs this year. Why don't you go and lead us out with your AL Cy Young?
Corbin Burns. I'm obsessed with him this year. I have 0 shares of Corbin Burns anywhere other than like a couple best ball drafts, but like I reached on him just because I was like, I need him somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love the Orioles so much, and I didn't pick Gunnar Henderson as my MVP, but like I almost did just because I was like, I just want to be strictly Orioles.
Yeah.
I might need to get an Orioles lucha mask. Maybe I'll.
Oh, there you go. When you go to the game.
When I go to Camden Yards, I'll pick up an Orioles lucha mask, and then I'll just switch them back and forth. Yeah. So just I think he's just so good. And I know last year wasn't like amazing, but again, as I stated last year, he was doing that on purpose so he could leave, which was great.
Mhm.
But super excited for him there. The team's going to be so good. He's going to be to me, the ace on the best team in the AL. Like, why not him?
Yep.
And he's top like 3 favorite. He might even be 1 now compared to, because Garrett Cole's gone. Because like Cole would have been the chalk pick, however, 3 weeks ago, right? Or a month ago.
Yeah.
Currently, he is the number 2. Oh, tied. He's tied for first. It's Gosman and then Burns. So I would say, yeah, I think that's like a good chalky one, but I'm into it. How about you, Jason?
Nice. I like it. Mine's a little bit less chalky, but I think it's still definitely a strong possibility. And that's Pablo Lopez of the Twins.
Love Pablo.
I don't think he gets enough love. After coming over from Miami, which, let's be honest, the Twins pretty much took advantage of Miami in that deal. Luis Arias, super good player. However, I don't think they knew what they had in Pablo Lopez because, real quick here, let me just bring up his Savant page here. I don't think people realize how good of a pitcher he was last year. So career highs in innings pitched, which is a little concerning. 194 innings pitched last year, but 234 strikeouts. Look at all that red. I don't know if you're not familiar with the Savant page. Red is good. And it's insane on how well of a season he had in 2023. Like I said, the availability is the only thing that has me concerned with Pablo Lopez. Again, 194 innings last year, but he followed that right back up in 2022. He had 180, so it's not like it's out of the realm. I think he's going to need a strong year because obviously I shouldn't say that AL Central is pretty weak. Minnesota probably AL Central, they might even be the favorite for the AL Central now that I think about it. So if you can get them to win the division, have another great solid year with Cole probably being done for the year. Obviously Corbin Burns is around, but these are Corbin Burns like numbers. So I think Pablo Lopez has a really good chance of winning the Cy Young this year. All right, let's go over to our NLs now, and I will follow the NLs up. You went first from AL. My NL didn't want to go chalk with Strider. Too easy. I'm going to go with someone that's probably a little bit step below them. We should have had these odds ready, but Zach Gallen.
Nice.
I think could, he's not the sexiest of picks, right? He's not Strider pitching, probably striking out 300 pitchers or 300 batters a year, but I think Zach Gallen does enough that he can, put up some solid numbers. And I don't think he'll get to 20 wins, which is obviously usually a pretty good determining factor for Cy Young, but I think he can get to 15 again. I think he's got a good chance outside of, I think you should, I wonder if there's a bet. And if there's a bet of I used to do like golf bets, like Tiger of the field. Is there a bet for Cy Young where it's like Strider of the field? I'm taking the field.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that's my Cy Young.
I think I already said this in the last few weeks. It's Tyler Glass now for me. I'm all in, unfortunately. Luckily, no shares other than in best ball. But,
probably the best place to invest in him.
Yeah, it's just he's so good. And I just believe in the Dodgers so much that I believe that they're going to unlock health. Because if that's the only thing he needs to unlock, then he's so good when he's there. And I think the Dodgers can make him be there for 170 innings, maybe. I don't even know if he's ever smelled 170 innings. I think as high as 130 or some shit.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at this thing right here, in 2023, he did get to 120 innings and was amazing. So again,
and it's
Glasnow's biggest knock is his biggest knock is just his availability.
So, but again, with the Dodgers, that could be the Dodgers are smart. So they might limit him because they're like, well, we don't care if he wins the Cy Young. We care if we win the World Series. So they might that might even go against him being on the Dodgers because they're a smart organization. But I'm in on Glass now this year, and I hope he wins just because I want to be right.
Pretty much one of the, if not the best or most efficient pitcher when on the mound, Glass now. However, just can't stay on the mound. Exactly. Mark comes chiming in here with Zach Wheeler. That's a good possibility too. You kind of missed it here. I predicted the Phillies would win the World Series earlier in this episode. So if that was the case, then I think Zach Wheeler might have a good chance of doing that.
For sure.
All right, so now we're going to go to everyone's favorite position or award, I should say, and that's going to be MVPs.
AL.
We're going with AL again. Staying with the AL into the NL.
Yep. This is the one I don't like saying. It's Juan Soto, Jason. He's going to hit 50 home runs. In that barn. And then he's going to leave, which is going to be even better because the Yankees will be like, maybe he'll even come to the Red Sox. Who knows? He won't. But obsessed with Soto this season. He's going to be so good on that team. I guess it'd be Harper, but like even in like San Diego, he wasn't like, he had like Machado sometimes, he had Tatis sometimes, but this lineup around him is so great with that is ridiculous. What even is that blue one in the middle? I can't see it.
Sweet spot percentage, which is basically not that great of it's not really like a correlating stat for the most part.
Because if he's doing all of that red, that should be red too. But I'm pumped for this year for him. I'm bummed that it's going to be for the Yankees. Ideally, they don't go to the World Series, but they probably will. Even without Cole, their offense is going to score 1 billion runs. Him and Judge is going to be unbelievable at all times. Love Verdugo there. I think this is going to be the best lineup he's going to be a part of, and I'm banking on that he wins the MVP.
Yeah, I wanted to pick Soto. I'm all in on Soto this year. I think he's going to have a great year. Like you said, that right field porch in Yankee Stadium is going to be his best friend this year. He should probably, buy it a new car or something like that because he's going to hit a ton of home runs over that right field wall. My MVP is going to kind of go along with another one of my World Series picks. I'm going to go with Julio Rodriguez wins MVP this year. I think he's just able to put up a lot of the numbers and not necessarily on like a super loaded lineup. I think he'll be able to, obviously put the stolen bases out there. The home runs are there. Again, I know he's been sidelined a little bit in the past with some lingering issues and injury issues, but I think he puts together a solid season this year. I'm all in on Julio Rodriguez this year. He's my AL MVP pick of the year. Again, a little bit more of a less chalky. It's easy to just come up here and say, it's Judge or whoever. But kind of like what Julio Rodriguez in his age 23 season might be able to finally get into that MVP
He's still
talk.
So young. It's fucking ridiculous.
I know, it's crazy, man. All right, we're now going to go into. I'm excited about this next one.
Oh,
so that wraps up our predictions of the season. Let me check here. Oh, sorry, NL. That's right. Joe came in. I think he missed some of this already. O's to win it all right. We've had a lot of Oriole talk.
Yeah, you met Joe. The only time I talk about the Orioles, you're not here.
Yeah, we've had a lot of Oriole talk between. I think you had an Oriole winning the Cy Young. You had an Oriole winning Rookie of the Year, maybe?
No, World Series, and I wanted to do Gunnar Henderson for Rookie for MVP, but I didn't.
Yes, so we've had a lot of Oriole talk so far. But yes, you're right. We forgot our NL. I'm so excited about our new segment. So I'll go with the NL again. A little bit of a chalk here on this one, but I feel like I've been kind of avoiding the chalk. I'm going to take it here. I'm going to say Freddie Freeman for MVP NL.
Okay. He's the fourth pick on his team, so I guess
and he's done it before, so he could win again. So I think he's got that profile of high batting average, high power.
Perfect, he's just steady Freddie.
Yep, exactly. Freddie Freeman, I think that's my pick for MVP NL.
Mine. So I'm gonna say mine's not chalk. I'm going Spencer Strider
Okay,
as the MVP.
I like it. When was the last? Well, wait, when was the last time? Was it Verlander? I think
Probably.
Verlander was the last one, the last pitcher to win. Maybe it was Kershaw. I don't remember. But anyways, I digress.
So a reason why I stopped writing for this website, Jason, is I wrote a blog or a post about Spencer Strider. I think it was his rookie year, saying that he needed to develop a new pitch or he wasn't going to make it. And boy, did he proved me right, because he did add a new pitch. He did. So maybe he read that and said, you know what, Nick, I will add a new pitch. But I did not think he would be this good. And boy, is he good. So I'm giving him just a little head nod, like, hey, Spence, I'm sorry about that. I'm going to give you the NL MVP. That's all.
So I quickly looked it up. So Kershaw was the last pitcher to do it in 2014. However, Verlander did do it in 2011. So there's that. Hey, if anyone's going to do it, it would be Spencer Strider. He's got that profile too.
For sure. And he's got that mustache.
He's on that team that could probably win the World Series. So there's all of that. All right. So now that wraps up all of our yearly predictions for this year. And now we're going to introduce our new weekly segment, and that is...
Yeah, we got a little bit of Nick's picks and Beck's bets.
Yep. And since this is our first week here, let's run it down real quick. We're going to throw out a bet. I also want to bring this up beforehand, but we didn't talk about it. Are there any limitations on odds, right? Like, we can't be throwing out here like negative 500 bets, right?
No, it needs to just be it needs to, just like we're not doing like alt odds. It's just like regular things.
We'll do it. Do we have like Okay, we'll roll out this and we'll talk about it off air for the odds and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so
I'm gonna keep track of these too.
Yeah, for sure. We got to update our record. We'll have our season-long tally running at the bottom.
Recap them next week.
Yes, exactly.
Sweet.
All right. Well, I will go first. My bet, since tomorrow, I'm obviously going to go tomorrow because there's no games today.
Yep.
And one thing you'll probably see a lot in this segment, for me at least, I'm a huge no runnings first inning kind of guy, NRFI. That's pretty much my bread and butter when it comes to, I don't say bread and butter, I'm not like some expert, but my preferred bet when it comes to baseball is no runnings first inning. So I'm going to go tomorrow for a no-run first inning, Minnesota versus Kansas City. The aforementioned, we just talked about Pablo Lopez versus
and Reagans.
Lopez and Reagans. Right now is at a minus 150. Not the most favorable odds, but hey, it's not bad. That's why I was kind of asking you, like, you know, 150 is still a little bit of a favoritism pick, but we'll roll with it for now. So that's my pick.
Because I took it the other day, so I'm gonna see if it's still the same.
Some live odds updates.
Yeah, I can't be mean to the group.
So you wrote that down though, right? I have it written down too, so we can and you know, obviously feel free to tell us. Let us know in the comments if if we've won or lost you any money.
Yeah. So we're gonna go with the Detroit Tigers minus 0.5 runs in the first 5 innings.
Okay. What is it, like Scooble?
Minus 120. So an F5.
So that's better odds than I have.
Just because I've loved Tariq Skubal, who was someone that
Skubal versus who's pitching
Crotchet. And I'm like, I don't know how that's gonna go.
Yeah.
So something that I really enjoy targeting, just pitchers I trust versus pitchers I don't trust.
Yeah.
And especially with that first 5, you're not looking towards the bullpen. You're like, okay, this is my Tariq Skubal game. It's my 5 innings. Ideally, you better get 5 innings out of them, because if you don't, you're going to lose it anyway.
Yeah. No, that's a pretty good one. I'm actually surprised it's only 120 because the Sox are running out of AAA team. I know Detroit's not great, but they got Scooble on the bump, so I think that's a really good. They
might be able to like Torque hit a little ding dong.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
So one other thing for this is just for the viewer. It'll either be the Wednesday night game or the
Yes.
Thursday game.
Yeah, we talked about that too. Like
anything further than that. So we'll always have something that you can take.
Yeah, and I think going forward we could pretty much almost limit it to like today's picks.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if there were, obviously tonight's the eve of the season, so there's no games. But next Wednesday there will be games on that we can pick from.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because we're usually done by 7-ish anyway. So that's like 7:05. So.
Yep. All right, Nick. That was a successful Nick's picks and Beck's bets first segment of the year. Look for that in the next coming weeks. And this was great. I can't wait to go to sleep. I'm about to go to sleep right now. Wake up.
Yeah. Let's go watch baseball tomorrow, buddy.
I was a little disappointed. There's only one game at noon tomorrow. I know they want to stretch it out, but it's oh man, I don't remember. But I can remember like opening day used to have like 5 games in that first window. Almost more games during the day than there were at night.
Until 3. So
maybe that was one of the games that got canceled. There were game cancellations today. There's already been 2 games cancellation for rain tomorrow, which is a huge bummer. That noon game was probably one of them. So, anyways, baseball tomorrow, man. Yep. See you guys next.